Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lou Weiss from Manufacturing Talk Radio. And I have with me today Nate Wheeler. And Nate Wheeler is with We Create. I can't imagine what that may mean in terms of manufacturing. But Nate, welcome to our show. And say
Thanks,
hello
Lou.
to everyone.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. Nate, I'd like you to give us a 2-3 minute elevator pitch as to what you do for the sake of our audience.
I can do that. So, in terms of what we create creates, we are a company that has a passion for helping manufacturers generate business through the web. And there's a lot of parts that go into that, but if you really to distill it down into what we're really good at, we're good at taking what you manufacture and displaying it to your target market in the way that they're looking, and get them to your website, get them to fill out that lead form, and hopefully get you some new business.
Okay, that sounds good. Just to give you a little insight about Manufacturing Talk Radio, we started this about 9 years ago. I do have a primary business where I draw my combat pay from, and that's All Metals and Forge Group. We're a steel forging company selling to the large industrial companies. And what we found that when we started this in 2013 was that manufacturing companies, they're good at what they do, they're good at what they make, they're good at what they sell, but there was a lot of things that they, in this new normal, that they really didn't know about. And that was, like I said, 9 years ago. I think that's changed a lot in terms of manufacturers who understand that they need help. They need to be able to market themselves better, differently, more effectively, more cost effectively, and so on. And I understand that you do, that's a lot of what you do. So
Right.
why don't you tell our audience more exactly as to what you're doing?
Sure. So, and you're exactly right, Lou, in that manufacturers, a lot of the ones that I work with, are really great at making the components that they make, at doing the process that they provide. But what they aren't really great at is communicating that information effectively to their target audience, especially through the web. And one of the things that we really specialize in is called SEO, or search engine optimization. And that's just the process of getting a website ranked higher in Google search results for the terms that are going to bring you business. So, for example, we have a customer that does material converting, and that's how they refer to the process that they do. What we know from a marketing standpoint is not everyone that's looking for those services is going to Google material converting. They might Google a manufacturer to turn rolled rubber into gaskets, something more process specific. And so we have a lot of great research tools that allow us to identify keywords that are going to be ideal for that customer, and then we generate content around that and do other things that go into SEO. And before you know it, they're at the top of search results nationwide, or even worldwide in a lot of cases, and they're getting a ton of business for those services.
So you're located in McKean, Pennsylvania. So isn't it difficult to deal with companies all over the country, or do you have more than one location or more than one outlet for working with clients?
Well, I think one thing the past couple of years has taught us is that we have to be able to operate virtually, and We Create was doing that, long before the past 2 years, but we've certainly increased that a little bit. We do website design and SEO campaigns for companies all around the world. We have customers in California and Texas, everywhere, and really we just have great virtual meetings. We have good agendas. We have a lot of processes in place that allow us to effectively get that information to our content writers, and just administer these campaigns with maximum results. So yes, we do work with companies all around the country, even though we're located in Erie, Pennsylvania. So clear display of service offerings is one of the first things that you're going to see on every website that we design. And it's really one of those user experience fundamentals that are very, very important. Then just having clear calls to action throughout the website. So now that you know who we are and what we do, here's what you need to do next. The other thing that's really cool about our websites is each one of these has this really unique custom look and feel to it. And I actually pulled up a couple other ones here that you can look at and just see the variation in the design. So this is a machining operation here. They're actually out in California near Silicon Valley. But once again, you glance at this website, you instantly recognize who they are, what they do, what they specialize in. You have your clear calls to action. And overall, just a really nice, clean design. Here's another one, a large fabrication operation, and they specialize in making platens, and just some cool interactivity, really clear display of offerings. You can see how we are able to incorporate different aspects of their brand into this design to just really make this a cool, unique design. We're always trying to build the credibility of the company through the design. So, certifications, testimonials, things like that are important. Good industry overview.
Can you go back up to spin up to the top? Let's take a look at the industries that this company's involved in.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, so they're pretty deeply involved in a lot of these. And a lot of these industries are related to platens that they manufacture, because platens are used in a wide variety of different industries, from wood products to laminates to pretty much everything. So they actually do a lot of different work in a lot of different spaces. They also do heavy fabrication of things like pressure vessels and large automotive and trucking equipment and things like that.
That's great. And the reason why I asked for that is just to show how you can design and demonstrate a client's marketplace.
Right.
So that was very good. Thank you.
So the other really important part about demonstrating that what they offer is that SEO, or search engine optimization, side of things. And so in order to rank for a keyword set, first of all, you need to know what you want to rank for. So in a case like this company provides the service of aluminum die casting. The most common term somebody's going to Google if they're looking for that service is aluminum die casting manufacturer. So that's the keyword set I want to rank for. So that keyword needs to be in a couple different places on this page. The first one is up here where I'm hovering my mouse, and that's called your SEO title. And so you can see that keyword set represented there, aluminum die casting manufacturer.
Right.
You can also see that I have it here in the heading. So this is your H1, your largest text on your page. That's going to be another important place where Google's going to look for the keyword. Then we have a couple of featured bullet points. Here's why you need to work with us. Here's why we're good at this. And then our calls to action. So what's important, though, is to make sure that we have enough content. And so down here, I have content that's built out. I don't really care if anyone reads it, but I care that Google sees this as a well-developed page on a topic. And so I have a good amount of content built out down here about aluminum die casting and different processes. And so Google looks at this and they say, okay, this page is more likely than not going to answer the question of the person that's Googling the term aluminum die casting or aluminum die casting manufacturer. And the cool thing is, we're good at what we do, and you Google the term aluminum die casting or aluminum die casting manufacturer, PHP is the #1 search result nationwide. And in fact, they're the #1 search result in all English speaking countries for that term.
Is that
as
right?
well as many, many others. So you can imagine they get a lot of leads. And we've done great work for them. So that's really what, kind of, when we're initially building this website, we want to lay this really great groundwork for kind of step one of SEO. And there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's really where we start.
So let me ask you a question, taking PHP as an example.
Sure.
So somehow, some way they came to you, or you found them and you approached them. How do you work with them to be able to create this very informative website?
Sure.
Are you doing assessments with them? Are you working with them? How does that come to pass?
So we have some really great content writers on staff that write content for manufacturers of all shapes and sizes. And we really train them on a process to interview the customer and really get this information in their words. And so they go through that interview process, then they'll write up a sample piece. We'll just use Google Docs. We'll share that with them, get their feedback on it. And once we really start to understand their communication style, we're able to really pump out this content. And that's really important once we get into the ongoing SEO portion, where we start to generate blog articles and news articles that are focused on new keyword sets. And so you can see their news feed here, where we've got, a lot of different articles about, they're really addressing additional keyword sets that are maybe a little bit expanded on those core keyword sets, like high pressure die casting and, prototyping. And then we have some, articles about specific industry uses like, appliances and things like that. So we've got a lot of different content, and really it's important for our content writers to be proficient in writing for the manufacturing space and to really understand how to interview the client and get it in their words.
When you get involved with a new customer, and I don't know if it's because you found them or they found you, do you find pushback in terms of the company who's so used to being able to produce, manufacturing, sell, and so on, and they have their own marketing person or granddaughter or whatever that has put together the past? Do you find that they give you any difficulty in making these new world changes?
So one of the biggest drivers of, a successful sale for me is just presenting results and presenting data. And, a lot of times I'll go through PHP and go through some of the results that we've gotten for them. And it's becomes pretty quickly apparent that things could be done way better than they're currently being done. And so, one of these tools that I use quite extensively to track results in organic search is Search Console. And so if you look at this chart here, over the past 3 months, PHP's got 233 clicks or site visits for the term aluminum die casting. So that's European. Aluminum die casting, 159 visits, and on and on and on. So you basically say how many visits are you getting to your website? We're getting 100 a month or something like that. So we're getting hundreds and hundreds a month because there's thousands of keywords that we're showing up in search results for, of all varying, ranking.
Right.
But that's another thing that I see a lot with manufacturers is a lot of times they get a little bit too fixated on one keyword set. They're like, oh, well, I show up at the top for aluminum die casting, so I'm good. Well, if you look at Search Console, there is literally thousands of keywords that potentially would offer you business.
So let's scroll down and let's just randomly stop somewhere.
Yeah.
So they can see what the numbers look like.
Yeah, well, let me do it this way. I'll show you exactly how I do this. When I'm doing ongoing SEO and I want to find a new keyword opportunity. And this is why everyone should have Google Search Console on their website. It's a free tool. You can look through it and find this information on your own once you get it plugged in. But what I can see here is I can see a keyword. So this is a keyword that somebody physically Googled. Over a 3-month period, we've gotten 15 clicks and 115 impressions, which means that 115 people have seen us in search results. And then I can see my position. So I'm number 1 in Google and number 2, number 3, etc. So when I'm doing ongoing SEO for a company, what I'm going to start to look at is my second page keywords. I want to know which ones I don't rank on the first page of Google for. So now I can see, 13, 14. So there's 10 organic listings on a page of search results. So anything over 10 is on the second page. So now I can look at these keywords and look at my impressions column and find ones that are getting a lot of activity. So like this keyword here, aluminum casting. This one has 4,280 impressions. That's a lot. And it's just off the second page or off the first page. So that one's a good one. Magmasoft, that's decent. Casting aluminum. So what I can do is I can find one that's really highly correlated to what I do. I think if somebody's Googling that, there's a good chance they're going to become a customer. And I can also see how many people are looking at that. I can see where I currently rank for it. And then all I'll do is I'll go to PHP and say, hey, I'm getting really good traffic for this aluminum die casting company's keyword set. That's what I'd like to focus on this month. And we're going to generate a new blog article or a new page focused solely on that keyword. And there's a good chance I'll be able to push them onto the first page of search results for that term. So we just continue to do that and build more and more and more traffic over time.
So let me ask you a question. I have my major company is Saul Metals and Forge Group, and we've been on the internet since 1994.
Sure.
I've been told, I'm not sure, I've been told that we were one of the first metals company to be on the internet at that time. But the point is that when you are getting this traffic, how much of that traffic is a result of the keywords or impressions? How important is impressions?
So impressions are, let me just demonstrate exactly what an impression is real quick here.
Sure.
So if I go to Google, and I'm gonna Google aluminum die casting. So up here at the top, we have our ads. These are pay per click. So what I'm talking about is not the ads. I'm talking about the organically ranking listings. And the reason why I love that is that you don't have to pay for clicks. If we can get you to the top of search results, you're going to get clicks, and it's not going to cost you every time somebody clicks on that.
Right.
So you've got your local listings, if it was kind of a location-based search, and then you've got your first organic listing, which you can see here is PHB Corporation. So as I scroll down this page of search results, everybody on this page just got an impression. Right now, nobody on this page got a click, but if I click through to one of these, that's going to be a click. That's going to be a site visit.
Right.
So you can't really say, is an impression important? But what you can say is that you're not going to get clicks if you're not getting impressions. And the more impressions you have, the more likely it is that you're going to receive a click. Because obviously a certain percentage of people that are seeing you are going to eventually click on you.
So let me ask you about retargeting.
Sure.
I don't want to throw you any curveballs.
No, I'd love to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so retargeting is something that we offer quite a few of our customers, and it serves its own function. And one of the ways that we like to use retargeting is when we have a very, very specific target market that we want to address. And one example of that might be, this is an exact campaign that we've done in the past. We did a geofencing campaign, which is a type of retargeting. And we had a client who was going to a trade show, and they wanted to be able to serve ads to everyone at the trade show. So when you do geofencing, you basically draw a virtual fence around that location and a time frame. And so anybody who visits that location or breaks that fence within a certain period of time is then eligible to be served your ads on any site that's on an ad network. So then that person leaves the trade show and they're browsing around their news site or whatever it might be, and they're seeing, ads pop up. Are you looking for a premium die casting supplier? We got you covered or whatever. So that's one way that you can really use retargeting. Another way that we use it to kind of complement a search engine optimization campaign is to do site retargeting. And that's where when somebody visits your website for the first time, you then follow them around the internet with ads. And so now that they've expressed some level of interest, now you're just kind of reinforcing that. And you can tell a story. You can tell industry specific stories or whatever it might be with those site retargeting ads.
Actually, I'd like to bring up one point about retargeting, and that is that retargeting, you can narrow down the physical location to about a 3-foot wide doorway.
Right.
So if you're going to an expo or a conference, anyone who is related to your industry, they walk through the door and bingo,
Yep.
they're hooked,
Yep.
so to speak. It's one very effective. I'm not sure when I first got involved with that ourselves, I wasn't sure if it was even legal, but we don't want to get into legal talk or political talk. But
Sure.
it is an interesting tool. And you can, once somebody comes onto your website as a result of either retargeting from your website or retargeting from an event, you can determine how long they will continue to see your ads, whether it's a day, a week, or a month.
Yep. Yeah, it's really interesting. There's definitely a lot of applications for it, and it's a good supplement. Now, once again, you are paying per impression, so that cost does add up. So I would never replace it, replace SEO with that, but I think it's a great supplement to it, and it has a lot of applications.
But if I'm an aluminum caster, and this is an aluminum caster conference, you can feel rest assured that there's a significant amount of target
Sure.
companies that are either your customers or prospects or potential clients, and it works very well.
Absolutely. Yep. No doubt. So yeah, lots of interesting techniques out there, but one thing that I really like to do is just sit down with the manufacturer and say, what are your goals? What are you really trying to do? Are you trying to hire people? Are you trying to find new work? Who are you trying to work with? And we're going to come up with the plan that's going to work the best for them. And we've even created programs for really small manufacturers and machine shops. And the reason why I created this particular program is, it takes a little bit of budget to be able to do a full scale SEO campaign and to build a custom website. A lot of these small shops, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys and not a whole lot of cash flow. And I wanted to find a way to help them. So I created what I call a small machine shop marketing program. And what we did was basically create a really nice template that really fits manufacturers and machine shops. And so that way we're able to just switch out your colors, your pictures, create some new content for you and put your services in there. And it kind of saves us a lot of development and design time. And
Right.
then for the SEO, it's actually included in the program. So for 12 months, we're going to build backlinks, which is another component to SEO that's important. It's off-page SEO. So we do a number of other things that get these guys ranking and get these guys business. And there's really no other program out there like it that's going to, for a pretty minute budget, generate some real results. I can show you actually what one of those websites looks like real quick here.
Be my guest.
So this is a small machine shop in Fairhaven, Connecticut. And
actually, I know them well.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Interesting. So we did great work for these guys. Got them a nice website up, and you can see it has all the fundamentals. Good, clear calls to action, clear statement about who they are and what they specialize in, clear display of service offerings, just a really nice, clean layout. And we were able to get them ranking for some really competitive terms in a fairly short period of time. And they actually closed a couple pieces of business within the first, 3 or 4 months. So we were really excited about
that. That's quite terrific. Actually, I know them, Fairhaven Machine. I was cool. Actually living in New Haven at one time, and I was in the metals industry forging company at that time up in Connecticut. And, they have, what is it? I think they're the number 3 aerospace state in the country. Okay. So, that's really terrific. Nate, I like what you're doing. I enjoyed hearing your story. Do you have any particular points that you'd like to get to before we wrap up this session?
I think the one other thing I was just going to show real quick was, I'm always interested in ways to help manufacturers and to help them grow. And so I created kind of a pet project, which is more focused on the region of Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, and West Virginia. And it's got a lot of buy-in. I've been working with the Manufacturers Association, the NTMA, the IRC network, and they're all really, really excited about this. Basically, this website was created to facilitate collaboration between manufacturers in the region and then help bring business into them. And so it's just a great user experience where you can go to the website, you can, search for different types of manufacturers, You can, contact them directly. And then we're doing a lot of content generation to drive traffic to the website. So I'll just give you a quick little preview of what the site looks like.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if we have any manufacturers listening that are in, that region, Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, West Virginia, check this site out and join it. So it'd be a big help to you. But other than that, just love to hear from
Tri-State
anybody.
Manufacturers. Interesting.
TriStateManufacturers.com. Yep. But yeah, other than that, I just love to hear from anybody that's interested in growing their online presence. Either building a great website or generating some new traffic and getting a lot more leads through the web. I'm sure I could have some interesting information to share with
Why
you.
don't you give us your URL, email, whatever you want, in order for people to reach out to you?
Sure. So if someone wants to reach out to me, you could visit WeCreate.com, or you could email me directly at nate@wheelerconsultingco.com. And I'm assuming you can put a link for that in the description of the video or something like that.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Nate, this was terrific. I might even give you a call. We might be able to use some help ourselves in one of our venues anyway.
I'd love to.
So thank you much. I appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody who's been on listening to our show, Manufacturing Talk Radio. It's we go live every Tuesday. We also have Manufacturing Matters. We also have WHAM, which is Women in Manufacturing. We have a couple of other shows. We have a total of 5, and we're always looking to expand it. Every one of our shows is a slice of manufacturing. So different strokes for different folks. We also have Manufacturing Outlook, e-zine, which is roughly a 60-page monthly magazine, which you can subscribe to for free, there aren't many things today that are free. If you need to get information further about us, reach out to manufacturingtalkradio.com or L.A. Weiss at mfgtalkradio.com, and we'll be happy to have discussions with you. If in fact you'd like to be a guest on our show, well, that's going to take a lot of money. No. How much did this cost you? Don't say, Nate. We don't want to embarrass you, pay that much money. No, it's free. Come to our show, pass on your message so that manufacturers can help build themselves up and become a very valued component to the manufacturing sector. Nate, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us, and keep us posted if new stuff comes up.
Will do. Thank you, Lou.
All right. Thank you much. Appreciate it.